So, like for instance, the migrants who are coming from Venezuela. I've been to Mabaruma not about a week ago, and I visited Calm Hill and some places where our porous borders, our frontiers are a little porous, and so they're coming through there. So I met with some of them. I able to distribute some food, some bags, and so on. And for humanitarian reasons, I mean, we have, we have to be this wonderful people that we claim to be hospitable, and so our hands are open to them. We've even gone so far, I think, with education. I think they're teaching them the English language, having special schools for them. So all in all, I think it's a good thing. I mean, I mean, in the long run, I hope that the oil-rich Venezuela, I mean, start to say such a country could plunge to such state, and I hope that things will improve there, that the folks can even go back to return to their country in due time.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a very important ministry. And as minister, you must have lots of responsibilities. How do you get help,
Okay.
support?
Well, at two levels. At the ministerial level, I have wonderful colleagues who work with me. And I must say at this point that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is like the conduit to other ministries. You may see roads being done here and there, especially on the East Coast, but we're the ones who would have sealed that agreement for that to come to fruition. So you have to work with infrastructure. We have worked with the folks from Canada, donate some ultrasounds to Ministry of Public Health. And so we have been working, around the clock interagency, and so I've been having good support from them. So that's at the ministerial level. At the ministry of itself, I work with the Director General, Ms. Audrey Waddle, who more or less give policy direction to the ministry. And she too is held by others. We work as a team, TEAM, together everyone achieves more. And so we have the Department of Frontiers, the Department of Foreign Trade, we have the Bilateral Department, Multilateral and Global Affairs, the Legal Department. We have the Foreign Service Institute where we do training and house training, the languages and so forth. So we have several departments that all come together to help us to pursue the mandate of and the mission of the ministry.
There's a program at the university that's in international relations. How does that work along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Well, it's like I would say precursor, because I recall not too long ago, a few weeks ago, they had this youth parliament, and after I had to do a presentation there, and after that presentation, there were many students came to me and say, "Okay, we want to, work with your ministry." Because the thing is that when you finish, okay, you've gotten your diploma or whatever it is, and then you see the vacancies, and person asks, "How many years of experience do you have?" And so I promised them that we're going to see if we can work with the University of Ghana to have a MOU. So just like how we have the work study students, and maybe give them a stipend at the end. We'll have the University of Guyana students. So maybe the third year, the fourth year, they can come and have, hands-on. So in addition to the theoretical part, they can have some practical work in the various departments so that they can learn more about, international relations, what it means, what it is all about, and how we can fulfill the mandate and the mission of protecting our territory, our intact sovereignty, and how we can, continue having bilateral relations with our neighbor, maintain, I should say, bilateral relations with our friends and the other nations, and how we can, promote social and economic development as we keep in pursuit of our Green State agenda.
If we can look at the more personal aspect of you, more personal side of you. When we started, we talked about the shoes that you are now, the shoes that you have to fit. Did you ever, at any time in your career, think of becoming a minister of foreign affairs?
Well, I wouldn't say it got me by shock because I'm open, to growing. And as I mentioned before, challenges do help to bring you the best out of you. But as you know, by profession, I'm a medical doctor, and so all the time I'm just trying to assist people, helping people, trying to ensure that we I try to adhere to the Sustainable Development number 3 to ensure that we have the state and well-being of our people, healthy communities. But here I am. I enjoy it so far. I'm enjoying this 4 months now, but I'm enjoying it. It's a different hat, but I'm open to learning, and it's good to learn some new things. And so you'll be this kind of all rounder that perhaps God wants you to be.
Do you miss being in the medical field?
Well, as I said before, I do interact with that. Only the other day, I think we signed an agreement with IAEA, the Atomic Energy Agency, where radioactive substances, where we can have training, I think in Austria, um, to build the capacity of our, like those who have cancers and so forth. So I'm still having the link, but just not only in that area, it's now other areas in infrastructure and education and so forth.
So you're able to pull from that.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. The strengths, and so I can able to use it in this capacity.
Since you've taken over as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, what would you say has been the greatest achievement?
Well, I'm still, it's 4 weeks on for me to really, it's not the end of the year to really look back, or to see whether you have achieved so much. But um, I would say I've learned, and I'm from others, and the bilateral relations. I've learned so much from other countries. I went to Medellin, Colombia, and we're part of the South American group, Lima group, and you see the challenges there, especially with the Venezuelan border and Guyana and Venezuelan issue, and where they're wanting to put Guaido there, this new president there, and then you have Maduro. So you're listening to all of these, and then you have to make some decisions whether sometimes to go or not to go. So it's a learning curve for me, but I would say in terms of achievements, the visits, I would say I was able to host during my time, first state visit for the country. I was able to not only have a Cuba Guyana summit, but I could have hosted a CARICOM Cuba summit, the first of its kind. Um, Apart from that, in terms of visits, we also had the high level discussion in New York the other day of our sustainable development goals. We want to see how we're, the indicators, if we are keeping on close to the indicators so that we can achieve it by 2030. And I'm saying we're not doing too badly in that area. We were able to represent ourselves really good at the New York meeting. Um, but apart from that, the different areas, in terms of public diplomacy, we continue to disseminate information to the public, what we're doing, especially these ministerial outreaches. We were also I think we produced 2 videos. I think we produced 2 videos, one on Venezuela and Guyana, and the others to know more countries, just to make persons aware and sensitize them to what work we are doing. And in terms of foreign trade, we've have more access to markets, rice and sugar and rum, and those are things we want to export, and so we are able to tap into those markets and tariffs and those kind of things. We use tariffs, and so all in all, I think we are on our way to success. We've just only begun, but I can see there's light at the end of the tunnel. And with my team, we're prepared to work very hard to ensure that we will live up to the legacy of the distinguished predecessors and fulfill our mandate of the ministry.
And Minister, this is my last question. What is your vision for the country?
Well, my vision for the country is to ensure that we will able to, as I mentioned before, which is very important in times like these, with so much going in Guyana, that we maintain and protect our sovereignty, our territorial integrity, that oil and gas will continue to boom, and so we can continue to have these transformative changes in all sectors. As I said before, Ministry of Foreign Affairs were the conduit of the different programs and some of the work that you're seeing done there, the achievements, and so we continue to organize and to continue our bilateral relations or multilateral relations, so that we can able to move from not only intention but implementation of some of these good work that has started.
Thank you very much, Minister, the Honourable Dr. Karen Cummings, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has been our guest on Insight today. Minister, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome.